All right, let's just jump right in. We're constantly told to chase happiness, right? It's like the ultimate goal. But what if that very chase is what's making us miserable? In this explainer, we're going to unpack a really powerful Stoic idea that flips this whole thing on its head. It offers a path to a life that's deeply meaningful, not just fleetingly happy. This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that endless cycle of chasing the next thing. The next purchase, the next promotion, the next little dopamine hit from our phones, only to find that feeling just evaporates. So this is the big, kind of provocative question we're wrestling with. What if the whole way we think about this is just wrong? What if we're aiming at a completely different target than the one that actually matters?
Okay, so first, let's talk about why this modern chase for happiness is such a trap. And, this isn't a new problem. The ancient Stoics saw this coming over 2,000 years ago.
This slide really lays out the crucial difference. Over on the left, you've got our modern idea of happiness. It's an emotion, right? A feeling, a high. And it totally depends on things outside of our control, like whether your vacation goes perfectly or your boss gives you a compliment. But on the right, that's the Stoic idea of eudaimonia. Now, this isn't a fleeting emotion. It's a deep, stable state of human flourishing. And here's the kicker. It's not something you chase. It's a byproduct of how you live your life, based entirely on your internal character.
So, if we're not supposed to be chasing happiness, what's the alternative? Well, the Stoics had a really powerful answer. It's a practice they called askesis. Askesis is basically a kind of training or discipline. And let's be clear, this is not a quick fix or some life hack. Think of it more like a commitment to a daily, consistent practice. It's about committing to making good choices and living by your principles, basically building excellence into a habit, one small day at a time. And this is so important to get. Character isn't forged in one big, dramatic moment. It's not a movie scene. It's built in the hundreds of tiny, almost invisible decisions we make every single day. For the Stoics, virtue is a skill. You have to practice it, just like you'd practice playing the guitar.
So this really gets to the core of it. The single biggest enemy to building a strong character is inconsistency. It's doing the right thing one day and then not the next. The foundation, then, isn't about one huge heroic act. It's about all the little things. Being patient when you're stuck in traffic, being honest when it would be easier to lie, choosing to focus instead of getting distracted again. That's where the real work happens.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Like, how do we even know what a virtuous choice is in the moment? Well, the Stoics didn't leave us hanging. They gave us a super practical framework.
Now, these virtues aren't just some dusty, abstract concepts from an old book. You got to think of them as a toolkit, a practical guide you can pull out in literally any situation to help you make a better decision. So let's break down what they actually look like.
So here's how it works. First up, you've got wisdom. This is all about having disciplined judgment, about seeing things clearly for what they are. And the practical habit? It's as simple as pausing for just a second before you react to that angry email or a piece of gossip. Next, there's justice. This just means acting fairly and ethically toward other people. And the habit is so powerful, just honor your commitments and treat everyone with respect. And finally, temperance. This is all about self-discipline and moderation. It's about exercising restraint, whether that's with your phone, your diet, or your temper. When you start living by this kind of framework, something profound really shifts. Your sense of meaning, your sense of a life well lived, it stops depending on your job title or how much money you have. Instead, it comes from inside, from knowing that you're being true to your own principles. It becomes an internal game, and that's a game you can actually win.
Okay, so we've got the framework, but how do we make sure we're actually staying on track and practicing it consistently? For this, the Stoics had one essential, non-negotiable tool.
And no, this is not your typical Dear Diary. The Stoic Journal, or hypomnemata, wasn't a place to just vent your feelings. It was a tool for rational self-correction. The best way to think about it is like a coach reviewing the game tape at the end of the day to see what went right, what went wrong, and how to improve.
The process itself is incredibly structured and simple. Every single evening, you just ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, where did I fall short in virtue today? Was I impatient? Did I procrastinate? Be honest. 2, what did I do well that I need to reinforce? Did I show courage? Did I keep a promise? And 3, this is the most important one. What specific corrections do I need to make tomorrow? It's all about creating a concrete plan, not just wishing you'll do better.
It's this habit, this honest, daily self-review that really drives genuine improvement. It makes sure you're actually learning from your screw-ups and actively strengthening what you do well. This is the engine that powers the entire practice.
And this idea right here, it just brings everything together so perfectly. A meaningful life doesn't have to be some spectacular, amazing, easy life. It's simply a life lived with consistency. A life that is aligned, day in and day out, with the person you truly want to be.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Just for a moment, forget about trying to find happiness. Instead, just focus on this one question. Based on everything we've talked about, what is the one small, virtuous choice you can commit to making before your head hits the pillow tonight?